I got it. It was device settings. It reset again. Back to default. But hello, friends. I hear you now. That's great. I can see the meter going in OBS. So I was about to say, I was so ready to start, and then my tummy had a trouble. But I'm here now. I took a couple antacid tablets. They're the chewy ones, so the... Anyway. Sorry. It's been a bit of a week. Tummy troubles are sad. I did mean to stream last Saturday, however, I was overwhelmed with anxiety because I dropped something. I dropped my new song on Saturday. And everybody likes it. I think. You need to hear it? Hold on. I'll see if I can actually... Give me a moment. I wonder if I can. You've yet to check it out. Grand Mieg. I'm disappointed in you. You're not supporting your friend's musical hobby talent thing. Unbelievable. My bad. No, I get it though. You'll leave. No, come back. Wait, don't go. Hold on. Get shareable link. See if I can pin this into the chat. Oh, I will be able to through OBS. Okay. Oh, oops. There we go. I put that there and then I pin the message. Yeah. Unpin after end of stream. There we go. That should do it. Hell yeah. Go check it out. Come back in 5. Yeah, no worries. I feel like I can talk about it a little bit now. Now that I'm not overwhelmed by anxiety. Like it was really fun to write, honestly. Once I had the because I didn't have a proper guitar VST at first, and then a friend found me one which sounded pretty good for free, a free guitar VST. Anyway, managed to get the hook for it and the like beat, and then the lyrics came after, and that was a ordeal in itself, but it was fun. And then I had the bright idea to do a little animation for the end of it, which you may be able to tell the difference between the art that I did and then the short little animation at the end. There's a definite difference in the perceivable quality, but I like it. I keep ending up liking like all the songs that I make. It was funny because it was going to be, I was going to try writing in 3/4, but I couldn't wrap my head around it, so I just went back to 4/4. Anyway, what else happened? Yeah, it was Valentine's Day. It was also the day upon which the infamous James Cook absolutely cocked it on the shores of Hawaii back in the 1800s. Rest in piss. And this week was also I was about to say aromatic. Aromantic Spectrum Awareness Week. And I said a little bit about it on my Blue Sky, that I may, in addition to being Grey Ace, I may also be Grey Arrow. Just going by my my general this. But it's fine. It's fine. I think about myself and I'm like, what the hell? 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 What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the hell? Until I find something that's like, I guess that's me. But hey, aside from that, it's the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We're about to start the Memoirs of the Clouded Kokoro. Let's just fucking do it. It's the sequel case to the other one, the Adventure of the Clouded Kokoro. And I like this one a lot more. Excuse me. I thought I had that fixed. There we go. Once again, OBS. Goddamn OBS. But welcome back, Elvis. Did you like my song? Sorry. I had a bit of antacid still. Not fix. Game to have no... What? Still. Well done. Let's see. How's it not... How's that? Is that working? Yeah, awesome. I had to... I had to check a thingy. It says capture audio, beta. Alright. Now we're cooking with kerosene. Or at least dynamite. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I'm a fledgling lawyer just starting out on my journey. 6 months ago, I arrived as a visiting student of law, having made the long voyage across the sea from the Empire of Japan to here, London, England. And on the way, in quite extraordinary circumstances, I made the acquaintance of a world-famous detective. Currently, I reside in the attic of the detective's own lodgings, from where I run my legal consultancy of sorts. I've successfully defended a number of clients in Britain's highest court, the Old Bailey. But since a particularly grueling and unforgettable legal battle 4 months ago now, I haven't returned to the courtroom. In truth, I lost my right to return. God damn it, Ryunosuke. But that epic trial was just one small part of an epic tale. A tale which was now about to awaken from slumber. Thanks to a letter that arrived this morning from my homeland. The letter was C for cranberries. That was the game, that wasn't me. What a delicious smell wafting up the stairs. It must be nearly time for breakfast. I better go down to Mr. Sholmes' suite and say good morning to the great detective and his flatmate. Flatmate. That's his daughter. 30th August, 7:28 a.m., Sholmes' suite. Oh yeah, you know what I completely forgot? Last Friday was Friday 13th. It had completely, escaped my mind.
Baby! Runa, good! I was just about to call up to you. The bacon's ready.
Good morning, Iris. Smells delicious as usual. Before we eat, though, I have some news. I had a surprise. Shh! Not another word, Mr. Naruhodo. This could be just the abstruse thing for my pre-breakfast stagnation-repelling mental stimulation, my dear fellow. No, you need Ritalin. Morning to you too, Mr. Sholmes. Oh, yes, I see. So that's it. Hold on. So that's it. Jeez. Just... The truth is as clear to me as day. My faculties of observation have revealed it again. What are you talking about? You, Mr. Naruhodo, you have, this very morning, met with a surprise. No. Really? No. Well, is that not the case? Really, my dear fellow, it barely warrants explanation. Firstly, your hair is particularly unkempt, somewhat reminiscent of a bird's nest. Secondly, you have neglected to fasten the third button of your jacket. Clearly, when considered together, these two facts point to you having been flustered this morning. Can I talk now? But of course. Though I don't look for admiration, you understand. My hair always looks like this. It's been this way since I first met you. And long before. Oh, it has? And the button was ripped off last night, if you remember? By you?
Harry pulled your button off.
Oh, yes, I recall the incident now. It was after supper, was it not? Hey. As the evening advanced, I picked up my violin and began to play the wailing notes of a haunting tune. Yes, it sounded like... But then, to my utter dismay, the third string snapped! Why did it have to happen? Why? Little wonder then that in my vexation I grabbed the first button I saw and ripped it from its proper place. Well, I'd like it back now, please. It's troubling me that I can't fasten my jacket. And it's troubling me that you expect me to know where it is. Somewhere thereabouts on the floor, one presumes. Helpful! What matters at the present time, my dear fellow, is simply whether or not my deduction was unerring.
But Harry, Bruno said that when he came... Bruno said it when he came in, didn't he? I had a surprise this morning.
Well, that really is a surprise. Yes, this man is the pride of the British Empire, the famous consulting detective, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. There can't be a single person in the world who doesn't know his name.
All right then, enough of this silly conversation. Come eat this bacon before it goes cold. And I have a new herbal tea for you to try too. My latest special blend.
And here we have Iris Wilson, Mr. Sholmes's lodger and companion. A truly exceptional young girl who's the author of a highly successful serialization here in London. Yes, The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes is published in Rance magazine. So, Mr. Naruhodo, won't you put us out of our misery? What surprised you this fine morning? Oh, well, I received a letter from Japan.
From Susie, you mean? Was it really?
That's right. And she had some rather startling news, in fact. Ah, intriguing indeed. You must tell us about it. You must tell us all about it over breakfast. I was about to say, tell us about it all over breakfast.
Oh yes, what fun!
Miss Susato's letter. This is the letter that arrived from Japan this morning, by international post.
How lovely! Look at Susie's beautiful writing. I wish I could read it.
And how is your judicial assistant faring, may I ask? She's very well, thank you. In fact, according to what she's written, she actually appeared as a lawyer at the Japanese Supreme Court and won a case. Yeah, she did. In the guise of Ryutaro Naruhodo.
Really? Oh, isn't she wonderful?
Got above your good self, my dear fellow. I've won cases too, you know. Apparently Mr. Natsume appeared in the trial as a witness. Natsume. No, I don't recall that name. Of course not. Of course you do! We helped the man, twice! You know, in those 2 cases that took place on Briar Road 6 months ago? Oh, the mustached, twitchy man with the somewhat feline eyes. And the mustache.
He didn't have 2 mustaches, Harry.
You don't know that. Yes, who could forget those 2 cases? They made a very deep impression on me. Oh yeah, totally. Though I must confess the details are a little hazy now. Hazy like the moors of Scotland? Yes! Yes! A very deep impression they made on you, clearly. I don't know why that bit is just in my head. That's a bit from like a really, really old Simpsons episode. I can't even remember which one. So, what was this startling news penned by Miss Fusuto? Do you remember the case of the haunted lodgings, Mr. Shums? Ah, yes. It's very interesting, you know. I don't feel entirely uncertain that a case of that nature did not occur. He's totally forgotten then. Anyway, in her letter, Miss Susuto asked that we read over her case notes again and investigate further. Though it took place half a year ago. For what purpose? Because of something Mr. Natsume said to her, apparently. He suggested that the real reason why she was called back to Japan so suddenly might have something to do with that case of the haunted lodgings. Oh. On Mr. Natsume's return to Japan, Miss Susuto's father questioned him about the case, she says. And something Mr. Natsume said appeared to trouble Professor Mikotoba, prompting him to send that telegram.
That case, yes! It was very strange, wasn't it?
Yes.
And I had compiled the whole story into a nice, neat manuscript ready for publication, too. But then Hurley here was all funny about it, remember? He was very mean. The jerk. That story must not be published, he said. Very mysteriously as well.
Really, I said that? Are you sure? Do you perhaps know something about it as well, Mr. Shums? About why Miss Susuto was suddenly told 4 months ago, Ayo, that she had to return to Japan. Typo alert, unplayable, 10 out of 10. She was told four dinner meals ago. Oh dear. Miss Susuto's repatriation?
It's been 4 months now since we waved Susie off at Dover.
Oh, excuse me.
It was such a shock, wasn't it? The way she just suddenly announced that she had to go back to Japan.
Indeed it was. Due to a telegram she received from her homeland, I believe. That's right. Telling her to return urgently. Yes, because her father had passed away. No. No. It just said he was suffering from a high fever, the cause of which was unknown. He's not dead. But according to this letter, that news about her father's fever was just a ruse.
A ruse? So Susie's daddy lied to her so she'd make the voyage back home. Why would he do that?
I have to admit I have absolutely no idea. But she believes it's almost certainly related to the case of the haunted lodgings. Summoning her back to Japan so suddenly like that. I wonder what Miss Susuto's father is hiding.
Helly, do you know what it's all about? Once this plane goes over?
Oh, and he's dressed. Oh, well, who can say? What? But you said... Please, I have engagements, my dear fellow. My calendar is quite surprisingly full today. And a stringent analysis of the matter would be excessive, I feel. even if I were quite at leisure. So, man the fort in my absence, won't you, Iris?
I will, Hurley, don't worry. See you later.
Oh, he scuttled off rather quickly there. Sorry. I think perhaps Professor Mikotoba isn't the only person hiding something here.
Howdy, lads. Howdy, Mexon. How you doing?
Soseki-san was involved in 2 cases, but only one of them was forbidden from being published. By, of all people, Mr. Shums.
Aha! I found them at last.
Iris, are they...
The notes about the case. That's right. Susie and I compiled them together. The case of the haunted lodgings. Do you want to read them, Bruno?
Absolutely. Thank you, Iris. Ooh, listen to this theme. I can't make my model go bouncy. I've no idea what secrets could still be hiding in the shadows of this case. But perhaps if I read over the notes again, something might come to light.
That's the spirit.
We're about to do a flashback.
Flashback, flashback, flashback.
And so, Iris and I decided to read over the case notes again together. Everything from what happened to our investigation and that fierce battle in court that followed. Reliving every detail. I just need to find a clue. And I have all the time in the world. Because, of course, I'm no longer allowed to practice law in the courts of Great Britain. I'm unemployed. It was 6 months ago, a mysterious incident that unfolded on the wintry streets of London. A young woman was found lying on the snowy pavement of Brower Road with a knife in her back. Fortunately, her life was spared, but she was unconscious for several days following the incident. The fog was thick and nobody saw her attacker, but how are you, lads?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
I'm feeling alright. Well, I'm feeling alright now, because, just as I turned on the stream, my stomach started playing up. The only thing I can think of was that the steak that I had for dinner might not have been 100%, you know? But I should be okay. I had some Tums. Fresh. Well, not like old, but it might have been like, I don't know, it might have had something on it that didn't get, or it might have been just the, because sometimes my stomach doesn't take, like the marbly, like fatty bits very well, especially when it comes to beef. But cruel twist of fate, may my stormy aches pass quickly. My stomach aches. Even. Yeah. Well, I think it's already passed quicker than the actual stormy weather we've had this week. By a cruel twist of fate, a visiting Japanese student was walking behind her at the time and was duly arrested. Oh, the thunder we had the other morning was bonkers. Like, from like, what was it, 4 a.m. to past 6 a.m. the other morning. The lightning was like right overhead, so it was extremely bright. And the thunder was enough to shake the house. And I was not sleeping in that kind of weather. Not till I was sure it had passed. Anyway, that man was Soseki-san, and the man who effected his arrest was Mr. Sholmes. Believing in our compatriot's innocence, Susato-san and I decided to represent Soseki-san in court. And actually, Mum was telling me yesterday that apparently there was a tropical low around the middle area of Australia, somewhere, like close to Lake Erie, I think. Lake Erie? Lake Eyre? One of them. Believing in our compatriot's innocence. I've read that one already. And after a grueling trial of many twists and turns, we finally managed to prove his innocence. Joyful, joyous, jubilant jubilation! Was the man's reaction after the trial. But his jubilant jubilation was short-lived. We received a telegram from Mr. Sholmes the following morning. The victim of a Briar Road stabbing has regained consciousness. Hurry to Bart's at once. That's St. Bartholomew's Hospital. So Susato-san and I summoned a hansom and headed immediately to the hospital. I assume that's like a horse cart. "21st February. Is that the Michelin Man? Is that the Stay Puffed? That's the Stay Puffed Marshmallow Man." There you are at last. Good morning, Mr. Sholmes. I think not.
Oh?
You're late! What on earth took you so long? You're late for a very important date.
Oh, a rat! You're the rat! Look at that little guy. He's just sitting.
Your telegram only arrived at 5 o'clock, Mr. Sholmes, and it's a 20-minute ride to the hospital. That's right, and it's 5:30 now. I think we made very good time. The time is utterly irrelevant. Fact is, I've been waiting for what has felt like an eternity. Oh, I get that. I get that too, when you're stuck in waiting mode. And you can't really do anything else because you're stuck in waiting mode. Your brain's like, we can't start doing something new. We're waiting for something. That's a ADHD thing. In point of fact, I myself was awoken at 4 this morning by a telegram boy. And feeling it was somewhat unjust that I alone had been roused at such an hour, I sent one to you. Well, thanks for that. Anyway, you're here now, so the victim's over there. She's only just regained consciousness. The rat? Oh, right. The lady. You should introduce yourselves. And I shall observe from here. So that's the lady who was found on the snow-covered pavement with the knife in her back.
Her name is... Oh yes, here we are. Miss Green.
Well, before that, I really... What the hell is this? This rounded wooden figure isn't the most charming, is it?
What do you mean? I don't think that's a decoration, Mr. Naruhodo. It's an artist's mannequin, I believe. Used when practicing sketching the human form in different poses.
Really? It's not exactly what you'd call a typical figure for that purpose, though, is it?
Oh, it's
because there's three different terms for body type. There's a I think it's mesoform, endoform, and a third one. I could be wrong. No, I suppose not. I confess I've never seen one quite so fully figured before. Well, if you want to draw a full-figured person, it's the right tool for the job. Now I really want to double-check what my... Where is it? If I get the height chart, it might tell me. Oops. Okay, I was close. It's mesomorph, endomorph, and ectomorph. So the little wood figure counts as an ectomorph body type. We have Poto. Now that my curiosity is sated. Look, there's a photograph in this frame here.
Aw, he's a little man.
Oh yes, it's a picture of a young gentleman. He looks to be about the same age as Miss Green, I would say. Perhaps the young woman's special someone, do you think? My, Mr. Naruhodo, I didn't know you had a sense for matters of the heart. Not in the least. I sincerely said the first thing I thought of. We have an easel, which we can't look at. Chart. This looks like the patient's treatment notes. Let's see. Do not feed. What? What is this place? A zoo?
You know, I seem to remember seeing an almost identical sign in our local park.
For the pigeons, yes. This is a person. Poor woman, I hope she hasn't read this. Yeah, it is a bit mean-spirited now I think about it. There are lots of bottles in that cabinet, aren't there? Do you think it's safe to keep them like that? Yeah, right over a patient's bed? With no lock?
If you were a patient here, I feel sure you'd take some medicine by mistake when you were half asleep.
That is a worry, but at least the cabinet has a lock. Even if it's only a flimsy-looking one. Oh, that's fine then. I think.
Oh, I've no doubt you'd manage to unlock that somehow while you were half asleep as well.
There are limits even to what I can do when I'm half asleep, you know, Miss Susato. True. What else have we?
Let's look at the rat. Rat. Eek! A mouse, a mouse, a mouse, Mr. Naruhodo! An enormous mouse!
Vermin in a hospital? Well, that doesn't seem the best. No, that's not ideal at all. But maybe it's the surgeon.
But it looks like a very healthy specimen, doesn't it? It's very plump.
I'm not sure we can say that's down to the excellence of this facility, if that's what you're thinking. Big green bag.
That must be a bag of Miss Green's personal belongings.
She would have been brought directly here after she was found stabbed on the pavement, though.
I expect a friend or family member probably brought some things for her.
Alright then, let's see what's inside. A change of clothes, no doubt, and... No, Mr. Naruhodo, you must never scrutinize a young maiden's personal belongings. But the young maiden might have chocolates, or biscuits, or caramel. She should share. Oh, we have another thingy over here. This looks like the treatment notes for whoever's occupying this bed. Let's see. Do not permit to run around the hospital.
The patient doesn't seem to be here at the moment, so...
He or she is probably running around the hospital then.
Oh dear, how worrying.
What's worrying is why they haven't discharged the patient yet. sorts of medicines in this cabinet. I'm not sure if it's safe to have them in reach of everything like this.
Yes, you're right. I can imagine if you were peckish, you might try a whole bottle or two.
Now that's scary. Well, at least there seems to be a little lock to secure the cabinet doors.
I don't imagine that would stop you if you were hungry. I'd worry that you'd break the lock.
Hunger doesn't turn me into a criminal, you know, Miss Susato. Indeed. Alright, let's speak. Good morning? Hello, I'm, Ryunosuke Naruhodo from the Empire of Japan.
Oh no! Was it your knife that... Are you the man who...
No, I'm a lawyer.
Oh my god, I've been stabbed by a lawyer!
No!
And I'm Susato Mikotoba. Pleased to meet you. Oh no! Was it your knife then? Are you the one? No! I assure you, I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant. We heard that you'd regained consciousness and wanted to come to give you our best wishes. Best wishes? For me? Thank you. I'm Olive Green. I'm an artist. Ooh. Well, no, that's not right, is it? What I mean is, I'm trying to be an artist.
Hey, you're an artist no matter what.
Well, what I really mean is, I desperately want to be an artist.
If you want to be an artist, you'll be an artist.
But the truth is, I don't have any talent. I know I don't.
What do you mean?
It's no wonder I was stabbed in the back.
I don't think that's related, actually. Gosh, this young woman seems to bend over backwards to put herself down. Seeing as we're here, we should ask her about what happened from her perspective, I suppose.
About the incident.
To suddenly be struck in the back by a blade as you were walking along the pavement. What a terrible experience you had, Miss Green.
It was so cold that day, and the fog was so thick. I couldn't see a thing. That was 4 days ago now, I think. Is that right? Yes, that's right. I'm afraid you've been comatose all that time. But the case has been solved, hasn't it? Well, I've been here in hospital, I mean.
Indeed it has, my dear madame. Spectacularly by none other than I, Herlock Sholmes.
Mr. Sholmes! As you well know, it was Mr. Naruhodo's hard work in court that solved that case. Are you...
Whoops. Sorry. Are you yet to hear what happened, Miss Green?
Yes, I'm afraid so. A gentleman from the police force is supposed to be coming to fill me in shortly. Oh, I see. Me coming around seems to have made everyone frantically busy. I'm so sorry. I should never have regained consciousness. It was selfish of me.
Oh, no!
Oh no, we're all so relieved that you're on the mend, Miss Green. Really, we are.
With that kind of attitude, maybe her surname should be Blue, not Green. You know, you can describe blue and green with the same word in Japanese. Ao. I wonder if that was a pun in the original script.
About yourself, Miss Green. Tell us.
So, you're an artist, are you, Miss Green?
Oh no! Oh, I couldn't possibly claim that. I'm a fledgling artist at best. I mean, I'm a student of art, really, at the Thorndike Academy of Fine Arts.
That's what it's called.
Oh my. An Academy of Fine Arts. Great Britain is such a wonderful country.
Tell me, Miss Green, do you live hereabouts?
Oh, no, actually, I flat on Brixton Road.
I see. How very interesting.
Oh no! Is it?
Brixton is some 10 stops away on the underground from here. And Thorndyke Academy is a mere 3-minute walk from Brixton town centre. Does that matter, Mr. Shums? Perhaps not, but Briar Road is a far less salubrious part of town by comparison. Dwelt in by those of inferior means, including the maleficent Mr. Moustache. Inferior means. I suppose Soseki-san does fit that bill. It struck me as somewhat out of the ordinary for a young fine art student to be walking in such a district. That's all. What's this? She suddenly clammed up.
Mr. Shums, you should be ashamed of yourself prying into a young maiden's private affairs.
Oh dear me. Do forgive me.
If you don't mind. I'm being discharged shortly, so I need to pack up my things.
Yes, of course. We won't keep you. Thank you so much, Miss Green. Is there a Mr. Narafota here? Mr. Narafota! Narafota now? Well, if you're looking for Naruhodo, the lawyer, that's me, but... Ah, Mr. Narafota. Good. This is for you. It's a message from... It's a message from a Mr. Saucy Nutsmeg. Mr. Natsume sent me a message. To me. I've been arrested again. God damn it.
But why would a policeman be delivering a message from Mr. Natsume?
Exactly. What's going on? What's a Scotland Yard constable doing playing delivery boy at this time in the morning? Ah, what are you waiting for? Let me see that. Oh? Well, this is most unexpected. Is something wrong, Mr. Shums? Is something wrong, Mr. Shums, he says. Have you not seen this note?
No! You took it from him.
How could I have? It would seem that London's criminals have no intention of letting the great detective rest. A new case calls. A case of murder, no less. We must depart at once.
Murder?
Call a cab. Time is of the essence.
Murder. But the trouble is, we've yet to read Mr. Natsume's note. I was thinking we ought to pay him a visit in his lodgings once we did.
That'll be entirely convenient.
Convenient? What do you mean?
It's all here in the note, my dear fellows. Haven't you read it?
No!
The murder we must investigate took place in Mr. Moustache's lodgings.
What? Wait, what? I'll hail a fireacre at once. Is that how that's pronounced?
Sorry, I am looking up words. Dictionary.com, what's a fireacre? Is that even how it's pronounced? Fiacre, or fiacre, or fiacre. Ah, from French. Named after a hotel.
I'll call a fireacre at once.
It was only yesterday. Right. It was only yesterday that Soseki-san was in court, and we were dispelling doubts about his innocence. And now, the very next day, There's a murder at the man's own address. He may very well be the unluckiest man alive. Or so it seemed to us at the time, but we were soon to discover it was worse than we thought. February 21st. Hey! What day is it today? Today is the 21st February in real life! I swear that I did not plan this. Here we are at Mr. Natsume's lodgings, ground floor. Ow! What on earth?
Oh my, the gentleman's deceased without question. He's dead!
Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire! Mr. Natsume! Oh, why? Why is this happening? Why to me? I've only just got out of court yesterday! I was finally home after 2 days of misery! And then I wake up the next day to this! No early bird should catch a worm like this! Woeful worm without wiggle! Yeah. I see you're in high spirits again this morning, Mr. Moustache. Ah! Not the horrible hairlock Sholmes! Shoo! Shove off! Show yourself the door! I never invited you!
Mr. Sholmes came here with us. I'm quite sure he'll be able to help you, Mr. Natsume.
I'm entirely at your disposal, Mr. Moustache. What can I do for you?
Gregson!
Here they are already, the busybodies. Ah, Inspector Gregson. What a pleasant surprise. Pleasant, is it? Gives me a heartburn every time I see your face at a crime scene, Sholmes. I deduce, Inspector, that your heartburn is a result of your excessive consumption of fried food. Good morning, Inspector. This is a crime scene. Don't you go touching anything. Or good morning to you too, Sunshine. That'd be great too. Well, we have a... Look at him. He's so sad. What a terrible thing to have happened. It's only been 3 days since I was arrested for the incident on the pavement outside. And then, having finally... excuse me. Having finally regained my freedom, it starts happening all over again. Endless existence of excruciating experiences. So, the victim lived here on the ground floor, and your room is just one story up, isn't it? Yes, that's right. In a way, we were neighbors, I suppose. So, did you know the victim? Were you friends? Natsume? Come on, answer the question. What's the matter with Soseki-san now? It was an innocent enough question, wasn't it? Why does he seem so shaken by it? Well, I suppose he wasn't a complete stranger. But did he ever invite me to his room? Never! On my honor, I swear it! What an extreme reaction.
You're probably wishing you'd never asked now, aren't you, Mr. Naruhodo?
When we found him here, I felt wretched. Which is why I sent word asking you to come. Throw that inspector over there!
Oh,
You called for us, did you? Mr. Inspector Gregson. So, Inspector, what was the victim's name? Who was he? Mr. William Shamspeare. He was a lodger here. Oh boy. As you can probably tell, he was an actor. Bit of a dead loss as it happens. Or just dead.
Mr. Shamspeare.
It was the landlord, old Mr. Garadeb, and the other lodger, Mr. Natsume, who found him. The fella didn't rise at his usual hour, so Garadeb got worried and kicked the door down. How? He's got a bum leg, don't he? But... yeah, but doesn't Mr. Garadeb have a bad leg? That's what I was saying. Oh, yeah, you're right there. It was the jittery Japanese hunchback over there who actually did the kicking. Mean! Don't call him things like that. Come on. Really? Soseki-san? The victim was pretty hard up, it seems. Even done some time inside for petty crimes. He had no money, no place to go, and no friends. His only acquaintances were the people in this house. Oh, miserable life. I am miserable into it. So, what exactly is Mr. Natsume still doing here? He's not involved in the investigation, so shouldn't you send him away from the crime scene? Well, I'm not saying it's because the fella looks odd or anything, or that he acts suspicious. But I thought it'd be prudent to take a statement from the cohabiter. You nearly said culprit there, didn't you?
Oh dear, Mr. Natsume appears to be under suspicion again.
It certainly seems that way. He does just come across as such an odd fellow, doesn't he?
Poor man. How unfortunate. Yeah, look at him. He's so sad looking. That's a cat stuck in the rain.
Anyway, I can't say much till the coroner gets here. But I don't think the fella's been a goner that long. Body's still warm. Even if the inspector would allow it, I don't think I could bring myself to touch a dead body. Scary. Creepy stuff. Interesting things over here. Oi! I said hands off. You're gonna mess up my crime scene. Oh yeah. Oh, no, I just wanted to look is all. No chance. I know your kind. You'll mess it up just by looking at it. Someone's in a bad mood. There's certainly some bad air in here, isn't there? Alright, it sounds like I better talk to the inspector first and try to curry some favour. What are you doing, Sholmes? Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing? Aha! You need only observe it to know it, my dear fellow. Investigating, naturally. There's nothing natural about that pose.
Mr. Sholmes, have you made some miraculous discovery?
Patience, my dear madam, patience. Sorry. Excuse me. We've not been here in this room 5 minutes. So far, all I've managed to deduce is what actually happened.
My goodness. But isn't that everything we need to know, Mr. Sholmes?
Now that you propose the idea, I believe one could indeed see it that way. At the present time, I've managed to draw 2 incontrovertible conclusions. The first, that there was a physical struggle here last night in which the victim fought for his life. Mr. Natsume? What's wrong? Is something Mr. Shum said significant somehow? No! Don't mind me! Forget I was here! And my second conclusion is that there was a poison lingering in the air last night that's past the victim's lips. Nonsense! Alright, Mr. Natsume, why are you reacting so extremely to Mr. Sholmes's deductions? No, please, pretend I'm not here! Invisible, ineffable, inscrutable, insignificant. Impossible to ignore.
You must tell us everything, Mr. Sholmes. Spare no detail.
I know it, but of course. Let the theatrical tragedy before us be unraveled by my great deductions, presented for your pleasure in 2 acts. Well, before that, I'd like to take a moment to refresh my drink. So I'll be back. Just a minute. Pew, 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 pew. I'll just leave you with the music for a moment.
Alright. Wait. Here I am, back again. Wait.
I've heard some truly astounding great deductions from Mr. Sholmes in the past. No doubt this will be no exception. What miracles will unfold before our eyes this time? So, my dear fellows, for your delight and wonder, let the curtain rise. For Herlock Sholmes's logic and reasoning spectacular. Act 1. Excuse me. The game is afoot.
Cause of death.
Topic 1. Careful observation of the victim reveals to us the events that transpired in this disconsolate room last night. Foam at the mouth of the deceased clearly indicates the use of poison. Oh? Next to the victim, we notice a large dining plate which contains, you will observe, 1/2 of a sizable bar of soap. Meaningful? Indubitably. Why is this soap set so purposefully upon the dish? Like the victim's last supper, in fact. Yes. Oh. I have a story for you guys later. Could it be that the man was about to eat it? Of course, the fork reveals the answer. It appears the young man's appetite was his undoing. Taking up arms in the form of his cutlery, the victim engaged in a deadly battle for his life. Yet the struggle against his hunger was in vain, for in the end, he couldn't resist devouring the slippery feast. But London's foul soap is besmirched by foul poison. Yes. The victim's life was claimed by a poison that tainted the contents of the plate. The soap and the lather about the young man's mouth are too perfectly matched to ignore. The cause of death was clearly intoxication due to excessive ingestion of foul soap. Though personally I have a greater interest in the taste of foul candle wax, of course. Ugh. 2. Suicide or murder? Cause of death identified, we proceed to Act 2, where we ponder the next question. Was this suicide or murder? I'm kinda glad I don't try to monetize my videos. Mostly because it's not a thing I have any interest in. Also because otherwise YouTube's fucking thing would be on me. And we all know how well it's been doing this past week and several years. The audience will recall that death occurred during the victim's last supper. Did the man dine and die alone? This single teacup suggests the answer. To draw a conclusion on such meager evidence would be foolish, however, certainly. The careful criminal could have absconded with his own cup to cover his tracks. Well, allow me to lift the veil of doubt, my dear fellow. Indeed, what reveals the answer, of course, is the broken lock. Though forced open now, at the time of the incident, this door was locked. And the sole key was in the victim's pocket. In other words, when the victim consumed the poison, he must have been alone. Alone with his inferior soap, from whence wafted an inferior scent.
Hello, Iska. Hello, Adapska. How you doing? I'm playing Great Ace Attorney Chronicles 2!
And with that acrid aroma lingering in the air, the victim met his end in tragic solitude. We can take comfort only in the fact that his soul was well cleansed on its way to the hereafter. No possible perpetrator present, so he says. Thus concludes the final act of Herlock Sholmes's great deduction. Now to dissect it and correct him. This is the Jester Joker guy's case. It's the, well... He's the stage actor, really. Though he does look a bit like a jester. In fact, there he is now, on the table there. There's just one thing, Mr. Sholmes. You're disposed to identifying just one thing, aren't you, Mr. Naruhodo? Pray, what concerns you? Well, no matter how hungry he was, do you really think the man would have eaten soap? Maybe on a dare or a lost bet. It is quite apparent that this man had barely a penny to his name. It is a curious thing, but to one so destitute, soap can suddenly appear quite irresistibly appetizing. Eat soap? Yeah. I actually have a funny story about soap. Many years ago, when I was about 14 or 15, my sister was really bad with just eating food that wasn't for her. Like, eating food that was, you know, like Mum's food or my food, Dad's food. So Mum thought it was a good idea to buy this like artisanally crafted soap that looked a lot like a cheesecake and like sit it in the fridge to see if my sister would take the bait, right? Except I was the one who saw the cake soap, thought, that looked tasty, tried to bite into it, and thought to myself, this doesn't taste like cake. I don't think this is cake at all. I wrote a note, stuck it on there, and then Mum came back later and she's like, did you try to eat that soap? That wasn't actually meant for you, that was for your sister. Yeah. For what it's worth, I didn't actually like break off any part of the soap. I just like made like the barest of indent into the soap. So I didn't actually like. I got like the barest trace of soap ingestion. How extraordinary. In truth, I have tried a little soap myself in the past. Shut up, Holmes. Shut the hell up, Holmes. You've eaten it, you mean? My dear fellow, it was some time ago now. My postulation was that it would cleanse my gut. And did it? As I writhed in agony on the floor and spilt the contents of my stomach, yes, I believe it did. Shut the fuck up, Holmes. Yeah, I definitely did not eat enough to make myself sick. But I know approximately what soap tastes like. And I still remember approximately what soap tastes like. The experience taught me a valuable lesson. Soap is quite poisonous. It has an unpleasant taste and leads to great discomfort. In summary, I cannot recommend it. I also cannot recommend it. Believe me, I wouldn't eat it even if you did.
There's something that troubles me as well, actually.
Oh, what's that?
It's Mr. Natsume. I couldn't help noticing him shuddering and quivering out of the corner of my eye.
Indeed.
Almost as if Mr. Shums's deductions touched a nerve somehow.
No. Nonsense.
Well, that clenched teeth episode didn't last. I think, judging by Mr. Natsume's reaction, the great detective's deductions may need some gentle corrections in order to reach the actual truth. Yes, Mr. Shums's observations and deductions are sometimes a little too sharp. He has the tendency to hit the nail on the side of the head and drive it in at an obtuse angle. When he does that, it falls to us to straighten things out. Alright then, let's see what we can do. Yes, we must pick out the keywords in Mr. Shums's quite brilliant deductions and discreetly exchange them for something that makes a little more sense. If we can do that, I'm sure we'll arrive at what Mr. Shums meant to say in the first place.
In that case, are you ready for the second performance of the day?
Encore! Encore! Or as they say in France, bis! Bis!
Once again, my dear fellows, for your continued delight and wonder, let the curtain rise. For Sherlock Holmes' Logic and Reasoning Spectacular, Act 1, First Revision. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. Careful observation of the victim reveals to us the events that transpired in this disconsolate room last night. Foam at the mouth of the deceased. Foam at the mouth of deceased. The deceased clearly indicates the use of poison. Next to him, a dining plate which contains a big old block of soap. Like the victim's last supper. Could be he was about to eat it. Fork! Well, you can't deny that a fork implies the man was eating something, or about to eat something.
Yes, that's true. If I were to decide to eat some soap, I should prefer to use a fork than to attempt it with chopsticks.
Meanwhile, with the cheesecake-shaped one, I tried to use a dessert spoon. And of course, only half the bar of soap is left on the plate.
But might there not be some other explanation? Something material that proves whether or not the man really ate some soap.
I also love the way that, Natsume looked at the camera. Fork. Oh, look at that. There's a second bar of soap. The other half of the bar of soap. There's more soap on the floor here. Mr. Shakespeare must really have loved the stuff. No, Ryunosuke, no.
Let's not jump to conclusions, Mr. Naruhodo. Look closely at the soap. Do you see that it would fit together perfectly with the half bar on the table?
What the? How can that be? It's like I'm in preschool.
I think that they are two halves of the same bar that broke apart.
So you know what that means? It's the answer to the question. It's the answer to the question.
Take that!
Take that! Could it be that the man was about to eat it? Of course, the other piece of soap reveals the answer. It being the other half of the soap on the table. In short, the victim was not eating soap at all. Straight up eating it in the apartment, and by it I mean a half a bar of soap. Sorry. That is obvious, really, for no depths of hunger could drive any man to attempt to eat soap. Even I, with my unquenchable thirst for practical knowledge, took only a single bite. Shut the fuck up, Holmes. But that begs the question of how the man was poisoned, because there's no sign of any food on the table. An excellent observation, Mr. Naruhodo, and one that furnishes us with the answer we seek. For London's foul soap is besmirched by a foul poison.
Is it?
Yes, the victim's life was claimed by poison that tainted the contents of the plate. Mr. Shons is still pushing the soap argument then.
Perhaps he's suggesting the man licked the soap rather than ate it.
If soap in London's that poisonous, I don't think I want to be washing my hands with it. But there are no signs of any food in this room at all.
Of course, food isn't the only thing that passes people's lips, is it?
Well, indeed. Like a teacup. Yes, a Western vessel for the serving of infusions of dried tea leaves.
It's a teacup, Mr. Naruhodo, as you well know.
Stop putting on airs.
And it's empty.
Ah, so we've already established that the victim wasn't eating soap when he died. However, there's significant evidence to suggest he was drinking tea.
My thoughts exactly.
Take that!
Teacup!
Yes, the victim's life was claimed by poison that tainted the teacup. Indeed, cups have been the vessel of choice for practicing poisoners over the centuries. Well, neighbor's dog going off again. And it would appear that this victim drank every last drop. There's no sign of food anywhere in the room. Which leads us to the immutable conclusion: the cause of death was clearly intoxication due to the ingestion of poison contained in this teacup. So clearly they melted some soap in there. So we solved the case. Now for the matter of the nature of the death, I should say. Oopsie. Cause of death identified, we proceed to Act 2, where we ponder the next question. Was this suicide or murder? I really like the poses for Natsume in this one. They're very good. The audience will recall that death occurred during the victim's last supper. Did the man dine and die alone? This teacup suggests the answer. Ah, the Western vessel for infused hot drinks again. It's already featured heavily in our deduction so far.
Yes, we can imagine that shortly before his death, Mr. Shakespeare was having a drink of tea. There'd be nothing remarkable about that, but what troubles me
is Mr. Natsume's reaction when he heard Mr. Shon suggested. There's more to this deduction than it seems.
We must closely examine the scene of the crime again for some more clues.
Oh, look at that! Another teacup! It's another Western... It's a teacup!
And it too is empty.
Given he's actually holding this one in his hand...
We can assume that this is the cup from which Mr. Shakespeare was actually drinking.
But if that's the case, this changes everything. Everything we've deduced up till now is turned on its head. I have a bad feeling about this. I almost don't want to say it.
Yes, I know exactly how you feel.
This man had one friend.
Take that!
Did the man dine and die alone? This other teacup suggests the answer. Yes, there were 2 teacups in this room all along. Oh! In other words, this is a strong indication. Excuse me. That at the victim's last supper, there was a guest present. That looks a lot like Bruce Fairplay, but I don't think it's him. They might have buried his model for a bit. At the very least, we can now say with certainty that somebody else was here in this room last night taking tea with the victim. What are you talking about? Utterly, unbelievably, unjustly unreasonable! To draw a conclusion on such meager evidence would be foolish, however, certainly. In which case, what more can we deduce about this possible guest at the table? Well, allow me to lift the veil of doubt, my dear fellow. Oh. Do you mean to say you know who exactly was in this room at the time of the victim's death? Indeed. What reveals the answer, of course, is the broken lock. I'm not sure I like where this deduction is going now.
I'm afraid it's too late to go back to the halcyon days of eating too much soap.
Please! Enough! The identity of the guest who was in here last night when the victim passed away is something I have a very bad feeling about.
Well, you can try to ignore your feelings, but we cannot ignore the truth, Mr. Naruhodo.
No, I suppose not. Time to look around again. What else have we got here? Broken lock, empty bottle, pile of books. Let's have a look.
It's empty.
Empty of liquid, but full of air. That makes you think, doesn't it? No.
It makes me think that you're full of hot air. We should be thinking about who else was in the room at the time.
Oh bother, Susuto-san's quip and response was cleverer than my original riddle. That wasn't even a riddle.
Pile of books.
At first glance, it seems that the only things in this room are the makeshift stage and the costumes. I overlooked these 3 books initially.
I wonder what they are. Let's see. The titles read... The Picture of Monsieur Lecoq, Canterbury Yearnings, and... A Meal for Gaborio.
Hey!
Those were the 3 books from... The... Adventure of the Cloud of Kokoro.
Wait, I'm sure I've heard those titles before.
It could just be an incredible coincidence, but... They're the exact same 3 books that Mr. Natsume purchased the other day.
What? Yes, on the day of the unfortunate incident when Miss Green was stabbed. Soseki-san had just been to a bookshop and bought them.
That's right. And now those 3 titles are here in the room of the victim.
Yet, Mr. Natsume claims never to have been here before. Wait, what does that mean, do you think?
I really don't know what to make of it.
And now it's a pile of familiar books.
Take that!
Take that! Indeed. What reveals the answer, of course, is the pile of familiar books. Quite so. It's no mere coincidence that these 3 titles are here in this room. It's the link to the truth. Mr. Natsume, you purchased these books 4 days ago at a second-hand bookshop. That's just a coincidence. In that case, you'll be able to bring the same 3 titles from your own room, will you not? This very moment. No, never! Non-negotiable! If you can't bring your own copies here, it proves that these 3 books are in fact yours. Having purchased the books 4 days ago and returned to your lodgings, you were arrested the very next day. I'm loving these silhouettes of them. So you could conceivably have brought the books here on that evening, but you never mentioned that. In other words, you could only have brought these 3 books here to the victim's room. Last night, having returned to your lodgings after the trial concluded at the Old Bailey. In short, there is only one possible conclusion. The victim died here in his room last night as a result of poisoning. And that same night, the victim had a visitor. And that visitor was you, Mr. Soseki Natsume. Thus concludes the final act of Sherlock Holmes's great deduction. Soseki Natsume at the scene. Solved. But we still don't know if it was suicide or murder. Not again. Not again. Not again. Not again. Well then, Mr. Natsume. It would appear you're gonna have to accompany me down to the yard again. But wait! Hold your horses! Yeah? Door, key, locked! Entry, exit, entirely impossible! He's so flustered he's being even stranger than normal. Oh, you think that's an alibi? You could have just made a copy. What? You live in the same building after all. You'd have had plenty of opportunity, I'm sure. But... Misery me! Sorry, sir, you'll get your chance to give your side of the story later. The facts speak for themselves, Mr. Moustache. You horrible Sherlock Holmes. He really has found himself an arch rival now, hasn't he? Come now, no dilly-dallying. Outside, there's a carriage waiting. Welcome, student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. I never imagined I'd be in this position again, but... You have to help me! Please! Please! I'm innocent! Alright, I understand. We'll come to your cell later and talk about it. And one more thing! Oh, yes? My poor little kitty cat. Please, give him his breakfast for me! You haven't fed Wagahai yet? Are you daft? And so, his evil curse still apparently unbroken, Soseki-san found himself once again the prime suspect in a case of murder. thanks to the incriminating deduction of the great detective. Or did it? My dear fellow, that honor belongs to you. Well, at least that means Inspector Gregson's no longer here. We can examine the crime scene in more detail now.
Yes, that's right. And of course...
What?
Have you forgotten what the inspector mentioned before? It was the landlord, Mr. Garadeb, who discovered Mr. Shamspeare.
Ah, Mr. John Garadeb, yes.
I expect we could find him in his sitting room on the top floor as usual.
Right. We must remember to go and talk with him later then. Oh boy. Though if I'm remembering correctly, it wasn't so bad this time round. What do we got? Here we have another disproportionately large machine. This looks like a meter of some kind.
Ah, this is a gas meter, I think. It seems that in this district, residents pay for gas as they use it with coins.
I see. Yes, now you've pointed out. I can see there's a slot just here that looks like it would take a coin. So, you mean if you put a coin in here?
That's right. That would buy you about 2 hours of gas for lights and heating. 2 hours.
So if you were a poor person with no money, you'd have to sleep in the freezing cold.
Yes, or if you were a scatterbrain with no change because you forgot to exchange your money at the bank.
Thank goodness there's no meter in our office. A bricked up window.
As we've seen from the outside, the window is completely bricked up. A vestige of the former window tax that Britons had to pay.
Yes, we had a mention of that last game. Strange things they used to tax in Great Britain. I mean, making people pay for the number of windows they had in a property. It's extraordinary.
It's heartbreaking to think of the poor having to block up their windows just to avoid an unaffordable tax.
Oh! What is it, Miss Citadel?
If you look closely, a number of the bricks are loose.
Ooh. So they are.
Soap!
Yes, it looks as though an ouch has broken out a few of them just here. Was it Mr. Shamspeare who did it, I wonder? Being the lodger renting this room.
Look at this, Mr. Naruhodo. On the outside there's a little ledge. And there's something on it.
What? Outside?
Ugh, it's so cold outside. You can feel it through the gap.
It did snow all last night. It would be cold. But more importantly, what is it on the ledge out there? What are those snow-covered lumps? Snow-covered. Yes. Just covered in snow. It's invisible snow.
It's more bars of soap.
Soap? What are bars of soap doing lined up on a ledge outside this window?
I have no idea. But the pair of them look rather charming like that.
Still, that's very strange, isn't it? Bars of soap lined up outside the window? I think perhaps we should take one. There are two, after all.
Oh dear, I suppose we could. What's this? Look here at this soap.
Huh?
Oh! Do you see in the middle there? There's a patch that's a different color. It's sort of transparent, but...
some sort of fancy design, I suppose. Only in Great Britain.
It looks like the Hinamaru flag of Japan, doesn't it? How wonderful. It's probably a very expensive brand.
Expensive? Then what's it doing in this ramshackle old room? Fascinating. Can we look at it? We can.
This part is a different color. It's an exquisite design, isn't it?
It does look a lot like a washing machine pod. You know, those ones that have the little red marble, little red ball. Trust the British to turn a boring bar of soap into something special.
I quite like it. It reminds me of the Hinamaru design of the Japanese flag.
I expect this is rather expensive soap. That doesn't seem likely given who it belongs to. Costumes. Look at these extravagant bright costumes. Somehow they look out of place in this room with its grim, shady goings-on.
This one looks like a king's attire.
A king? I've always dreamt of being a king.
I think he'd be more suited to a feudal lord. A daimyo or such like.
With a chonmage top knot? Every Japanese man wishes he had a chonmage.
Oh, you look wonderful with one. And you already have the sword.
Can you imagine what would happen if I walked around the streets of London with a chonmage and a sword? Oh, we have a little thingy down here. What's that?
What's this?
It looks like part of an envelope, I think.
Yes, I think you might be right. Perhaps it was torn off when the letter was opened.
Is that significant?
Well, it's a little out of place, perhaps. When you look around the room, there's no sign of a letter or the rest of the envelope, in fact, is there?
Ah, she's right.
And yet, here we have the torn off end of an envelope. It just strikes me as unusual.
Agreed. Better take this just in case.
What's up here? There's not much on these shelves, is there? Just this wine glass and a bottle. And both of them are cracked.
Yes, not much use, are they? What's the matter?
Oh, I was just reminded of the Reaper, that's all.
Prosecutor Lord Van Zeeks.
Yes. He's so reckless with his wine glasses. I was thinking, it's a waste. He should donate some to the needy.
You can suggest it next time we meet. What else have we got? Picture, box, crate. The stage.
This is some sort of makeshift stage, I think, isn't it?
Where's the audience sit, though, for the nightly Shakespeare performances?
Actors aspiring to the great stage must practice their art, Mr. Naruhodo, with or without an audience. In fact, on a related note, perhaps you should set up a mock bench for the defense in your office.
What?
Then you could practice your art every single day.
I'll think about it, if you promise to don a beard and play the role of the judge.
Well, if that would help you achieve your goal.
Now this I have to see. Alright.
One of the teacups Mr. Shamspear and his guest drank from last night. But don't go drinking from them, Mr. Naruhodo. There's bitter poison inside.
I'm not planning on drinking any, don't worry. Anyway, the teacups are both empty.
That's true. So, one was Mr. Shamspear's, and the other must be the cup that Mr. Natsume was drinking from.
But Soseki-san wasn't poisoned, of course. Perhaps we should take these so we can examine them in more detail later. Oh, I didn't look at his body. Looks like you're having a good snoop around, eh? Oh. Inspector Gregson, back so soon. After I threw that little Japanese fella in the clink, I went and reported this to the investigation division. In 5 minutes' time, this place will be cordoned off by the guard. Oh, I see. well, we'd better be leaving then.
Poor Mr. Natsume must be feeling very low being back in his cell again so soon.
I'm sure. We should probably go and... What's wrong, Mr. Naruhodo? He's alive. Out! Out, brief candle! Life's but a walking shadow. A poor player. That struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. Sorry, I'm not up on my iambic pentameter. I'm trying to remember which Shakespeare play that quote's from, even. I want to say Hamlet. Or Richard III. Now, how soundeth the next part? 'Tis a tale told by an idiot full of sand and fury, signifying nothing. Oh, is that Hamlet? I mean, that's... It sounds like this would be a quote from Hamlet. Indeed! Oh, happy day! What? Sorry about that. That was my mom coming in to ask me where she left the bug spray. Whoa, 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 whoa! Walking Dead! The fella isn't dead at all?
No!
What was that nonsense he was saying, though?
I think, yes. It was from William Shakespeare's Macbeth.
Oh, it was Macbeth. I'm a dingus. It was one of them.
A soliloquy from Act 5, Scene 5.
Shakespeare. So it was that the victim, Mr. William Shakespeare, came back to life. If the man had indeed been poisoned, it transpired that it hadn't killed him. He was taken by emergency carriage to a nearby hospital for treatment. And Inspector Gregson evicted us from the scene of the crime, whatever that now was. Well, that just happened. Here we are back on Briar Road.
Whatever do you think will happen now?
Good question. What a strange situation for Mr. Natsume. Arrested for murder, but then the victim comes back to life?
I think perhaps the victim was never dead in the first place. It seems very likely that Mr. Shakespeare did consume poison as we deduced. But was it an accident, attempted suicide, or attempted murder? Until the truth can be established, I imagine the police will keep Mr. Natsume in custody.
I suppose so. Let's hope it doesn't come to anything more than a night in the cells. Oh, what's this?
It's that guy.
What's that man doing over there? It looks like he's trying to see into Soseki-san's lodgings. The peeping Tom?
Is something wrong, Mr. Naruhodo? Excuse me, could we have a word?
Ah! Where'd he go?
He just ran off. I feel sure that I've seen that man somewhere before. Where was it?
I do too, but I don't remember.
It was the other day, It was the other day.
He had an argument with Shamspear in the episode 4 of the first game.
Oh, look, soap.
With the exception of the top floor where Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb live, all the windows are bricked up.
Yes, because of an old window tax that was charged on the number of windows a property had. In order to pay less tax, the poorer members of society filled in many of their windows. Ow! Ooh! Ooh! Ooh!
That hurt a little bit. I went to stretch my leg and went to pull my leg up, and the nerve in my left wrist twinged a little. I'm sure I'll be fine. It just... Anyway, I'm fine. But that tax has since been abolished, hasn't it? So the windows could all be opened up again, surely.
Unfortunately, it would appear that the residents of this district can't afford to pay to have the work done.
Yes, that is a sad state of affairs.
Especially for people like poor Mr. Natsume who have to live all cooped up in a windowless room.
I suppose that's the price you pay for living in a very cheap accommodation.
It all seems rather pointless when you put it like that.
The poor bicycle here.
There always seems to be a bicycle outside the Garadeb residence. I read the bicycles are extremely popular all over Great Britain at the moment, in fact.
That one seems very warped, though. Especially the front wheel. Is it to make it more of a challenge to ride, do you think?
No, I'm afraid that may be a result of the rider's incompetence. For the front wheel to be so badly warped, I'm afraid the rider may have been similarly afflicted.
Then there's a good chance Mr. Natsume's been practicing on this bicycle, I think.
Oh dear. I fear you may be right.
The door. The Garadeb household and Mr. Natsume's lodgings are in a prominent position here on the corner. Sometimes when I look at the building, I can't help feeling that it's at a bit of a slant.
It does rather look as though it would collapse in even the smallest earthquake, doesn't it?
And isn't it supposed to be haunted as well? I think I might have a hunch as to why Suzuki-san is such a hunched back. Yeah, look at that corner, post column. That's not good. London's blanketed in fog again today, and the sky's covered in cloud. But if you look carefully in the distance, you can just make out the Crystal Tower being built.
Ah, the Crystal Tower! Yes, the centerpiece of the Great Exhibition that's to open in 6 months' time.
Everyone's talking about the Great Exhibition of London at the moment, it seems.
Well, it's to be the largest event of its kind anywhere in the world, with technology and scientists from all over. I can't wait for it myself.
Do you think visiting students from the Far East like us will be granted entry?
The last Great Exhibition that was held in London had more than 6 million visitors, it seems. And this time, the British are determined to make it an even bigger success to outdo the Paris Exposition.
I see. That's an incredible number of people. And with so many people expected to attend, we should easily be able to slip in unnoticed.
There's always the honest approach of buying tickets at the main entrance, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yeah, Naruhodo. What do we got?
Snowman! Look at him. He's so happy.
Why has somebody built this snowman on some sort of pedestal, do you think?
That's not a pedestal, Mr. Naruhodo. That's part of the snowman's body.
Really? But it already has a perfectly good body.
Well, it's true that British snowmen are usually made with 2 balls of snow. Perhaps this is a foreigner.
And now we're looking at him as if he's strange. Poor man. I know how he feels.
If anything, it's Japanese and British 2-ball snowmen that are the strange ones, isn't it? After all, real people do have 3 sections: head, torso, and legs.
Do you ever think that perhaps you think about things too much? She has a point. Is anything else worthy of investigation? I don't think so. Oops. That's right.
I don't believe we visited this place for some time.
True. Time to see Mr. Garadeb.
Hopefully, sans domestic dispute.
Here we are again, the eccentric landlord's eccentric top-floor abode.
We're here because Mr. Garadeb's the one who discovered the incident this morning, don't forget. There he is!
Ah, you chaps, hey! Yes. Good morning, sir. Thank you for your cooperation in court yesterday. It was quite the trial. As much for Mr. Garadeb as anyone, really. Came straight back here after all that business at the Bailey yesterday. Didn't expect to wake up to more bally nonsense this morning.
I wonder if you wouldn't mind telling us exactly what happened, Mr. Garadeb.
Yes, I suppose you'd like to know all about that dead loss of an actor chap in the ground floor room. Those were exactly Inspector Gregson's words, weren't they?
Alright. This morning's incident. Just give me a second to have a sip.
It must have been a real shock for you this morning. I hear that you discovered what had happened. Ah, well, that hopeless actor chap rises at 5 o'clock sharp every morning without fail. But at 5:30 this morning, he still hadn't lit the gas. So I went down and knocked on his door, but no bally answer.
And that's when you broke into his room by kicking down the door?
Well, I called on that round-looking Japanese chap to do the grunt work, of course. Wasn't it a little premature to kick the door down? The man could have just overslept by half an hour.
That's very true, Mr. Naruhodo. If 30 minutes oversleeping warranted such behavior, I'd have to kick your door down every morning.
Well, you know, better to be safe than sorry and all that.
Is it just me, or is he avoiding our gaze now all of a sudden? Except that it was a sorry situation indeed that you found on the far side of the door.
Mr. Shamspear.
You know he's not actually dead, Mr. Garadeb. Aren't you relieved?
The victim's name is Mrs. Shamspear, I believe, is that right? Yes, William Shamspear. Took the ground floor room 3 months ago now.
And how would you describe him?
In a word, destitute.
Destitute?
Well, let's face it, the only redeeming feature of that room is the cheap rent. Anyone wanting to live in a place like that is either broke or has a belly screw loose. So hard to choose which category Soseki-san would fall into. Rude, Ryunosuke.
Mr. Naruhodo, that's a little rude.
That's what I'm saying.
Same brain cell. Same brain cell.
He was doing research as well.
Research into what?
Shakespeare, of course, Shakespeare. Read a few plays of the old bard myself, you know. Romeo and Hamlet and all that.
Yes, William Shakespeare is England's most highly regarded classical playwright and author. He's known as Sao in Japanese, as you know, and many of his works have already been translated.
As you know.
I wonder what Sao means.
It seems incredible that Shakespeare was shortened to Saul, though. Someone was too heavy-handed there. There were a lot of costumes in the victim's room, actually, weren't there?
Of course, Mr. Natsume is a scholar of English literature as well. I imagine he and Mr. Shakespeare would have had much in common.
Shakespeare interpretation disagreement leads to shocking murder. Well, let's hope it's not that. Oops, 1 second. Here we go. Add a nightlight to turn off.
Mr. Naruhodo, really? How rude!
About yesterday's events. After Mr. Natsume's trial yesterday, you came straight back here, I believe, didn't you? Did you notice anything strange between then and this morning? Well, now, it must have been about 6 in the evening by the time I got home. Snow was coming down rather heavily, as I remember, and it was completely dark already. That failed actor chap was out at the time. Mr. Garrett have noticed there was no light from his room or something, I suppose. Couldn't summon the energy for anything much, so just sat on the front of the fire up here. It was after 8 before Shakespeare got back. The chap was up until past 1 in the morning, I'll have you know. I suppose he met his end sometime after that. And I was asleep by then, so I'm rather in the dark there.
Well, thank you. That was very illuminating.
Is everything all right, Mrs. Sato?
Well, I was just thinking it's a little strange, that's all. Mr. Garadeb, you were up here in your room all evening, if I've understood correctly.
Not a big fan of stairs, not with this blasted leg.
Then, how is it that you seem to know? The precise movements of your tenant on the ground floor, I mean.
Ah! Ah! That's a very good point. I can't imagine that you could hear noises from the ground floor all the way up here. Does this old man like to spy on his tenants? Is that it? I say, I know what you're thinking, and it's a bally outrage. I'm ex-military, don't you know? I don't go around spying on my tenants. Why would I?
Then how did you know, Mr. Garadeb?
It's the gas, woman. The gas tells me everything. The gas.
Speaking gas? Talking gas? What on earth do you mean, sir? How can the gas tell you anything, let alone everything?
Well, as you're probably aware, the gas is supplied to the building through pipes. Yes, I more or less worked that out.
Every room in the building is connected by a single pipe to the gas main outside. And the gas company supplies gas to properties via the main.
Yes, I understand that too. Let me see if I can explain. Let's say I was to light the gas lamps up here. What do you suppose would happen? Well, obviously the room would get brighter. Exactly. But at the same time, the lights in all the other rooms of the house would dim for a moment.
What? They dim? Why? Perhaps it's because when you light a gas lamp, it briefly uses more gas than usual, and that reduces the amount of gas in the pipe for the other lamps connected to it. That might explain why the other lamps dim momentarily, mightn't it? Yes, of course, because everything's connected to a single supply pipe. Is that supposed to happen, though? It sounds rather undesirable.
Jolly good point. Fact is, the gas company's pipes in these parts are pretty hopeless. Long worn out. Barely got any gas in them to start with. Opposite's also true, of course. Extinguish the lamps up here and they glow brighter than the rest of the house. In the rest of the house. Right, I see. Haha. So by watching the flickering of the lamps in one room, you can determine what's happening elsewhere. You've got it. By Jove, he's got it.
Of course, because when people come back home in the evening and before they go to sleep at night, what they're guaranteed to do is either light or put out their lamps and fires.
Clever. In point of fact, the room on the ground floor and the one above it use slightly different amounts of gas. By watching the lights in here closely, I can work out almost exactly what's going on in the whole house.
Gosh, that's fascinating, Mr. Garrett. Absolutely fascinating.
Oh, well, nothing to it, really.
I can't really see what that it's going to help us with the case either.
Oh, Renosuke, ye of little faith. What I'd like to know is why Mr. Garrett is so interested in what his tenants are up to in the first place.
I feel like there's more to it than idle curiosity.
Well, we've done as much investigating here as we can, I think. Perhaps we ought to go to the prison and speak with Mr. Natsume again.
A good idea.
I just noticed that the carpet and on the floor is still burnt in that one corner. Alright, off we go. To prison! That poor man! God, and he's wearing getter with bare feet. That's gotta be freezing!
Look, Mr. Naruhodo.
A man!
Mr. Natsume, have the police finished questioning you now?
Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire! Yes? What is he? Tell me! Is he a ghost? Is he here to haunt me? Let me guess. You're talking about Mr. Sholmes?
He actually calls himself a great detective, Mr. Natsume, not a ghost.
But his diabolic deductions. They're not of this world. They've left me. Ah, cursed! I'm cursed, I tell you. Well, that sort of hurts.
Credit where credit is due, Mr. Naruhodo. You were heavily involved in the deduction too.
Yes, moving on, we have some wonderful news. Oh?
The victim that we all thought was dead has come back to life again.
Now, in the absolutely worst case, you could only be tried for attempted murder. That's great, isn't it, Mr. Natsume? It's terrible! Oh! I'm stuck in this cell, suffering for some silly wrong end of the stick! You did it, didn't you? Confess! You're a killer! Why the mustache? Constant questions! I'm sorry to hear that. That selfish shyster! Ooh, hey, don't use that word in modern times. That's an anti-Semitic word. If I recall correctly, but people would have been using it at the time, unfortunately. Make up your mind, are you dead or alive? If you were going to come back to life, why bother even dying? Wickedly wishy-washy William! Well, it seems likely that Mr. Shakespeare was never actually dead in the first place. Oh, yes, that might make sense. And I'm pleased that he's alive, of course. Our lively debate last night was much fun. I'd be sad to think it was our last.
Oh?
Oops. shouldn't have said that part. Mr. Natsume, does this mean that you did see the victim last night? You met with Mr. Shakespeare, didn't you? I'm not saying another word. I demand to have a lawyer present. I am a lawyer. Who do you think I am? Please, Mr. Natsume, we need to hear your side of the story. Come on. Why am I cursed like this? What happened? Can you tell us exactly what happened last night then, Mr. Natsume? There's nothing to tell! But, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire, I'm eternally grateful to you for helping me with that accursed case yesterday. The case that saw poor Miss Green hospitalized after she ended up with a knife in her back. It's hard to believe that was only yesterday. After the trial was over, I trudged my weary way back to my lowly lodgings. And that evening at past 9, it must have been, I visited Mr. Shakespeare. So, you did go to the victim's room then? As we feared. I didn't do anything wrong! I'd never been to his room before! It was the first time! Then, what made you decide to go? I bumped into him when I arrived back at the house. We got chatting and it developed into a discussion. But he had to go out, so I bade him farewell. And that ties in with what Mr. Garrett said, that the victim went out and came back after 8. We met again later that evening at around 9 or just after, when I took him some nice tea I'd brewed as a gift. So it was you who brought the tea that had clearly been drunk at the scene then? And I suppose you were discussing the works of Shakespeare, were you? Yes, that's right. That's exactly right. Romeo and Juliet! Who was the stronger? It was a delightful debate. I'm sure. Such a stimulating subject, Shakespeare. Shakespeare. Try saying that 10 times. Trying saying that 1 times. And the debate became very heated, so you slipped poison into Mr. Shakespeare's tea? No, never! Not at all! Team Juliet won! That was me! And when I left his room, the flamboyant fellow was fighting fit! I swear it! Categorically! Tell us about your cursed existence. It all started when I was born. Mr. Natsume, you often say the same thing about yourself, I've noticed. That you have a cursed existence. I'm sure I've mentioned this to you before, but I've been here in Great Britain for a year now, and in that time I've learnt that it's no place for me.
It can be very trying to live in a foreign land and to adapt to the ways of another culture.
There are foreigners everywhere I look, and they all stare at me. They all laugh. That's the impression I get whenever I go out. It makes me scared to leave my room. Which is why I've become a recluse. But even in my room, I find no respite from my fears. I've moved more times than I can remember. And then 1 week ago, I moved into Briar Road.
But why?
I mean, why did you choose that place? It doesn't seem very comfortable. Because the rent was cheap. I've so little money, it spoke to me.
The rent.
Obviously, there's a reason why it's cheap. Because the room is cursed. Cursed? Cursed? Cursed how? The previous occupant, the man who lived there before I took the room, died there. Oh no! He was only a young man, but one morning he was found dead and no one could explain why. Surely no one would want to live in a room with a history like that. I didn't. When the letting agent recommended the place, I wavered. But I want books, and books cost money. A horrible history is a small price to pay. When I realized it would mean I could buy more books, I signed the lease like lightning. Brave or blinkered. But after I moved in, I soon came to realize what I'd done. I realized how horrible that room's history really was.
Gosh, was it really so awful?
Horrible history. I remember those books and the cartoon.
How did the room's horrible history affect you, Mr. Natsume? What happened?
At first, it was just a feeling. The feeling of beady eyes boring into my back, watching me.
Do you think that might just have been your mind playing tricks on you?
No. My mind doesn't know any tricks. It was someone else. It's been one long nightmare ever since I was given the keys to that place.
A nightmare? You've been having bad dreams, you mean?
All the souls who've died in that room lean over me in my sleep and try to strangle me.
That really is horrible.
And now I come to think of it, it happened again last night too. The very same night that Mr. Shamspiel was writhing in agony from the poison in his body. I was on the verge of being suffocated silently by those miserable spirits in my room.
You simply must move out of that room as soon as possible.
Yes, you're right. I know it. And that's why. I'm already searching for the next room with a history to call home.
I think perhaps you should try to avoid accommodation with any kind of history at all. Otherwise, I'm scared that you yourself may become history.
Sister to son knows how to make the man listen. I'll say. Of course, Mr. Lord of the Manor is worried about the curse on my room as well.
You mean Mr. Garrett?
Yes, he knows that if people keep dying there, he'll never be able to rent it out again.
Well, that's true. I, for one, wouldn't go near the place. Perhaps that may explain why the landlord pays so much attention to the gas lamps and his tenants' movements.
You mean because he's worried about their well-being?
He does seem to have an unusually keen interest in the amount of gas in the pipes. There must be a reason why he keeps such close tabs on the occupants of his let rooms.
What do you mean he pays so much attention to the gas lamps?
Oh dear, no, it's nothing to do with you, Mr. Natsume. Please forget I said anything.
Oh, now you're talking about me behind my back as well.
What's important is that Mr. Shamspeare isn't in fact dead at all. Once he's come around and he's able to tell us what happened, we'll be able to get you released.
Yes, please. Oh, I do hope you're right. Excuse me.
Oh, it's Gregson. Inspector Gregson.
Excuse me. I couldn't help overhearing what you just said. And on that note, I have some good news and some bad news.
Oh.
Which do you want first? Always, every time, bad news comes first. When hope is all you have, hold on to it. That's my guiding principle. Right, well, in that case, the good news it is. Huh? Sorry, it's just a lot easier to explain everything that way.
Then why'd you ask?
Then why did you ask me my preference?
That's what I'm saying.
As you might have heard, the victim, Mr. Shamspeare, was just unconscious. He's come round now.
Yes, we saw it happen in all its terrifying glory.
He's still being treated by the doctors, but we've managed to get a written statement from him already.
Oh, isn't that wonderful, Mr. Natsume?
Oh, thank goodness. It's all over then. I can leave this somber cell. Sorry, no, that's not on the cards. What?
Why ever not, Inspector?
Mr. Shamespeare has implicated someone as being responsible for what happened last night. Implicated someone?
Oh dear.
You don't mean? I'm sorry to say I do, yes. He's pointed the finger at you, Mr. Natsume.
Fuck! Ah!
By sweet poison did he seeketh to end my life. That wickedest caitiff, Soseki Natsume. No. So, I'm afraid you'll be appearing in court as planned. You'll be wanting to make the necessary preparations.
No!
Not again! And so once again, Soseki-san found himself having to take the dock in the Old Bailey. Whether his room was haunted or whether he was just terribly unlucky, I knew I had no choice. The following day I would represent him in court and do my utmost to break the curse that blighted him. To be continued. There we go. Save my current progress, I shall. Trial Part 1. Tell you what. I'm gonna leave the trial for next time. And I'll call here. Just so I'm not overextending myself. Because I feel... If I'm trying to remember, this one took me a bit to get through. But I can't remember if it was just because the case itself is long or because my ADHD at the time was just, like, unbearable. So, I'll leave it here for the night. And then next time we'll pick up on the trial. As for Monday, I don't know what I'm gonna do on Monday. Honestly, recent Mondays I haven't really been feeling up to streaming on Mondays. So, if I stream, you'll know. But until the next time I stream, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good time zone, and take care of yourselves. And I'll see you then. Hasta la... something. Hasta la cosa. That's not it. That was... I think I just meshed Spanish and Italian just then. Whatever. Now you know that I'm a little tired. Alright. Catch you later. Bye bye.